Today's webinar is a part 2 of our journey series, and it's going to be talking about setting up journeys for lead nurturing and helping you to ultimately close more clients. So why is journeys key for lead nurturing? So leads are a complex and diverse topic, as they might have several different interactions when reaching out to your business. That's why it's important to treat each lead with care and make sure that you address the real reason why they came to your business in the first place. By guiding your leads through the funnel, you can use multiple touch points such as emails or follow-ups or phone calls, which we will be discussing today, and how to set that up to automatically trigger and push your leads down the funnel. For example, your marketing team may have ads running on multiple platforms and might contain different messages. So your leads are going to come through different sources, and you need to be able to customize their experience depending on how they actually came to your site. My name is Madison Potter. I'm the client specialist over here at GreenRope's CRM, and I'll be walking you through this today. If you have any questions, reach out to us at support@greenrope.com or myself at madison@greenrope.com. The agenda, what we're going to be talking about is why journeys are key for effective lead nurturing. Whatever path that brought the lead to your business, you need to be able to identify and track them accordingly. Understand what makes the client different is key to sending the lead down the right sequence and properly nurturing them. So we'll map out the touch points and help with the filtering of those leads. We'll set the foundational preparation and set up the triggering for you to follow up with them. And then we'll go into GreenRope and build out a journey together. We'll conclude with some best practices, and then I'll answer any questions at the end. At its basic sense, lead nurturing is a purposeful process of engaging a defined target group by providing relevant information at each stage of the buyer's journey. I know that sounds like quite a handful, as it's one sentence is packed with a lot of information, but we will dive into it. So first, identifying who your target group is will really help you with understanding which content you want to give them at each stage of the buyer's journey. Some recaps of the buyer's journey starts with awareness. When they become aware of your business, they start to consider you as a viable solution. They purchase your product. Then it goes into retention, maintaining that client. And if you do well in retention, they become a brand advocate and they send in referrals. So that's overall the buyer's journey. When mapping out your touch points, it's often easier to say negative experience and positive. Just kind of where does that touch point usually lie for the lead? Here's a few examples of touch points I've just put together. Product awareness, research, they come to your store, they buy your product, and you can see if it's generally a negative experience. For example, they have a complaint, that's going to be on the far right. Today, for the lead nurturing, we're actually going to be talking about taking them from consideration. Once they start doing research about your product and they think it might be a viable solution, they reach out to you, to converting that lead and they purchase your product. So those are what we're going to be focusing on today. Within GreenRope, there are some ways that you can actually filter and track these leads that come in to do your product research and visit your store. So for example, you can set up campaign IDs as well as tracking on your website so that you can see what they're engaging with, what pages they're looking at more. And then to capture their information further, you would set up a sign-up form and you'll embed that inside your website so leads can give you their information in return for something of value. A recent study by Marketing Sherpa indicates that only 36% of marketers are actively nurturing their sales leads. This is a huge room for improvement because you know how many leads get stuck in the sales funnel. It takes a lot of time and effort to get those leads and get the information. And a lot of time it doesn't go all the way down and sales can't close their sales leads. So what we're talking about today is going to be nurturing those leads, pushing them down the sales funnel with the multiple touch points, and ultimately having sales close more engaged and higher leads. So why is this important? There are so many ways why this is important, but lead intentions are complex. They come to your site wanting multiple different features that you offer, or they downloaded an ebook that you see. So you never really know exactly what they're looking for unless you nurture them properly and filter them according on different services you offer or different sales reps that need to be in touch with them based on their time zones, for example. This is a perfect stage for actually educating the new leads in your funnel on your business, making sure that they have all the data points that they need to make sure that your product or your service is going to fit their needs better than anyone else on the market. So by making each of those touch points with your lead highly educational as well as fun, they're going to get a lot more benefit and actually want to open your emails and engage. And that comes with actually personalizing and streamlining your efforts and helping to set up those touch points. Ultimately, this is better brand consistency. If you're hitting on all their pain points and helping to educate them, your emails all look the same, you have timely responses, they're going to think your company is well put together and really cares about nurturing your clients and leads, and they're more likely to continue moving down the funnel to ultimately close more clients, which is the end goal of nurturing any lead. Few ways to get started. The perspective on kind of why people are coming to your website in the first place is really important to understanding how to segment them, how to filter them, and how the new leads actually start the journey. So did they come through a sign-up form? Did they get manually added to your group? How are they starting your journey? And that will help you understand what they're actually wanting from your business and what are they expecting to get out of it as well. And this will help you build your content and your touch points to help the lead get what they initially came to your business for. Setting up your levels of organization inside GreenRope. So our group assignment is our broadest filtering section. So you can filter all your leads and clients based on groups. Next is custom user fields. These are user fields you create on your end that will help you see if you can meet a certain criteria, if they're interested in certain products or multiple products, which sales rep is already talking to them, help you identify more custom options that the lead will fall into. That way, throughout the journey, you can filter them accordingly. And then lastly is tagging. This is if you have a super simple business, or let's say you have two different types of wine, you have red wine or white wine. Simple tagging can also help you filter. The custom user fields are more popular as there's a lot more tracking and analytics behind it, but tagging can also work as well. Creating the content to share. You'll want to do this before you actually set up the journey and what you want to send out at each touch point along the way. Make sure to keep this personalized and relevant to what the lead came to your business for. And it's best practices to only have one call to action per engagement touch point. That way you know what you want the lead to do, and they also know what they need to do. If you send them a letter with 7 links and they're not sure which one to click on, they end up probably just not clicking on any. And you also don't get that tracking, and you can't really move them through the journey as you would be if you only said one call to action and base that journey decision on that link that you sent or that PDF download that you sent over. And then follow-up procedures. So once they've taken that action that you wanted them to, what are you going to do to follow up with them? So let's say, for example, you sent them that PDF download of your ebook that they gave you their information and wanted. Are you going to then send them a quick thank you follow-up email? Are you going to jump on a phone call and call them right away? And are you going to have a sales rep automatically get a CRM activity to follow up in 2 days to see how that book is? You will set that up within the decision point in the journey. The decision point is where you really set up that customization on how you want to now touch that person, which we will go into. So before your journey creation, you really want to just think about how your new leads are starting your journey. What are they coming to your business for, and what are you wanting them to do? So you make sure you have all your content and touch points outlined prior to building it out within GreenRope. If you're not ready to build it out yet, but you want to still map out that workflow and those touch points, journeyflow.com is a free tool that GreenRope built just for this purpose. All you need is to log in via LinkedIn. You don't even need to be a GreenRope user to use this. So we have a lot of clients that are using this just to get that visual understanding of what they want to happen and the lead journey and that custom path that you want to set up. So this would be a really good tool if you want to build out those touch points externally before setting it up in the automation inside the account. Moving on to building out the journey for lead nurturing. As we talked about, triggering the journey is a good understanding of how will your leads even get started on the journey. By understanding what path they took to come to this journey will help you create that content and customization depending on how they came to your site. So for example, you can have a sign-up form, which is probably one of the most common. They're signing up for an ebook or more information. Ticketing forms are also within the system. They can register for an event that you're hosting. You can add them into a specific group, which triggers them going on to a journey. You can update a custom user field, which is pretty great. Let's say their sales rep got assigned to Matt. You can now send them on a custom journey that will make sure that Matt follows up with them, or depending on a specific service that you offer that they're interested in, you can send them on a journey as well. Workflows are probably the most versatile way that you can get leads on a journey. Have a look inside the help article. There's an article called Triggering Workflows, and it goes into depth about all the ways that you can trigger a workflow within the system. Within this workflow, you can set up the journey to start. So workflows are just a simple way to set up any automation in the system, and you can embed the journey inside there. Or lastly, you can just manually start the lead on the journey, either through their contact record or through the journey itself. You can manually just start that. Next is setting the foundation of the journey. What content are you wanting to send out to your leads as you push them down the funnel and try to really engage them? Understanding your buyer persona here will come in really handy, as you'll get to understand who they are, what would be interested in them. Maybe you have multiple products that you're selling. What was the reason that the lead came to your business in the first place, and what are they wanting? Maybe they want the PDF download now and you can upsell them later. So what did they come to your business for initially, and make sure that you address that in the first part of your journey. Like we said, upload the PDF documents and create your email templates all prior to building this out within the system. And make sure to save all your information across all groups. Journeys are not group specific, and they often stand alone as their own automation because they're such a powerful tool. Make sure to save all your information, your email templates, your PDF documents across all groups, just so you can pull them up whenever you're needing them. Third is the purpose of the journey. So once you understand what your lead came to your business for, and you know what you're wanting to happen once they engage with your content, you've actually successfully created all the touch points in your journey. So by defining your process and your different tasks associated with each lead, this will be your main goal with the journey. So for example, is it just to follow up with any engaged leads? Or is it to filter all leads between different services that you offer? So does the sales rep, marketing team have information or access to this client's data? Or do you have the necessary groups set up to house the new engaged lead? So verifying that you have the right workflow set up will help you really streamline this process once you're inside the system and building it. And then 4 is to personalize that experience. Not every customer, not every lead goes down the same path. And so you need to be able to streamline effectively and understand what they want and what you want out of this journey. So did you have multiple services that you offer and that you wanted to streamline? Or is it one main service that you want and you're going to try upsell them later once they become a paying client? Creating a lead nurturing journey inside GreenRope. Your journeys can be found within the automation dropdown, automation journeys. And as we talked about earlier, journeys are not group specific. So you want to be able to share everything across all groups. Once you go into this page, you'll see all the objects on the top left. As you can see, we have decision, which creates the logic for the personalization based on actions that the lead or client took. You help filter them, you can set up group assignments. This is where the personalization comes into play. You have delay, which is waiting an amount of time for an action to take place before moving on with the journey. You either want to wait a few days, a few hours, wait until they've clicked a certain link or submitted a document. That would be the object you would use. Action is how are you going to engage with your lead or client? What are you going to send to them? Very common here, you would send an email or you would trigger a workflow or any kind of action that directly connects with that person. And then stop. Stop is the last one, as you always need to end the journey to get reliable analytics and tracking. You want to make sure that everyone going through your journey is not on a repeated link or a repeated cycle. They actually have an endpoint and you can keep track of it that way as well. Along the top right is the actions bar. This is where you can open a new journey, which is called load. You can save, you can restart a whole new journey, or you can even delete journeys from here. Once you're building your journeys and you like the outline, you can always save it as a new option, and this will create a duplicate of your journey, so you don't need to recreate the work. This is an example journey that we've set up just to show you that the actions bar extends further once you've actually built and saved a new journey. As you can see here, you can now start an individual contact on the journey, or even the entire group that you are currently working within can start this journey right now if you choose to. We're going to jump into GreenRope in just a minute to build out a lead nurturing example to walk you through the steps on how you can start thinking about setting up this flow and this custom path for your lead. Let's say the lead saw your marketing collateral and wants a copy of your ebook. That's great. They filled out the sign-up form and then they're automatically added into your CRM platform. Now they are sent a custom confirmation email that they will have to verify their email address is valid, and then you can send them the PDF download. The system does send an automatic confirmation email by default to make sure that the email address they provided is valid. Otherwise, you are able to create a custom confirmation email as well, which is pretty simple. You just have to add in the placeholder, which I will show you. And that way you can send the confirmation email as well as the PDF download on the same outreach. Now, to trigger them on this journey, you have two options to consider for the lead. Is it first within the sign-up form itself? So once they give you their information, you can send them on this journey. And that would be within the website sign-up forms. You click to edit your sign-up form, go into the options tab, and scroll down to the upon confirmation section. As you can see here, we have the immediate follow-up emails set up, and then we also set them up to start the new sign-up journey. Right below that, it's not directly associated, but I can send myself an email notifying me that I got a new sign-up book request. Second would be when they actually click on that PDF download link and they actually download that document that you sent them. And this was a little bit different. It's actually going to be a bit more complex, but within the automation dropdown, you will click on the link library. This place houses all links sent throughout the system. So everything you send through the system, it gets automatically stored here. You would locate your specific link. For example, mine's highlighted in green on the bottom over there. And then you would add an auto action. Within this auto action, you can now trigger a workflow to send that lead on a journey. Be careful on this one, just because this link is its own standalone link. So let's say you just send someone the link to download this book regardless. They will still get added onto that journey because this is now associated with the link instead of the sign-up form itself. Reach out to us if you have any questions on this. We're happy to help walk you through it. But once you've set up how to trigger your lead on that journey through the sign-up form or through the ebook, you'll want to nurture them with the content until they're educated, they're starting to engage, and then they're ready to buy and purchase your product or service. And so setting up the follow-up and end of the journey for the lead will help you make sure that you touch them as soon as they show any engagement and are ready to move to the next step. Before we jump into GreenRope, which is coming up soon, I want to show you some collateral examples that you would do for your lead journey. What do you want to send out to your clients or leads on their touch points? In this case, we're going to actually upload our PDF ebook into our media library. So you go to media library, you hover over your actions drawer, and you upload a document. Once you check the box, you will see the links on the right side, which you will copy that download link. And then we will go into our email builder, which is communicate email. And we would create a new simple email to go out and would embed that ebook download link behind that button that we've created here. Quick note, if you wanted to also make this your confirmation email, you would add the confirmation placeholder into this email here. That way the system knows, one, not send a standard confirmation email, and two, it'll allow you to set this up within the sign-up form as the confirmation email. So right below on the bottom, you can see confirmation placeholder. You would add that into here. Then once you've created that, you would want to create a few other touch points. For example, in my here, I set up tip 1, tip 2, and tip 3. If they haven't engaged on any of those 3 emails, I will then send up a breakup letter that says, reach out to us whenever you need us, but we're not going to contact you anymore. So that's what I have set up here prior to starting the journey. So those were the collateral. Now, what is going to happen once they engage with your content? You will need to create follow-up activities using the workflows. Workflows is going to be found within the Automation Workflow Manager dropdown, and you can create a new workflow to show that the lead engaged with your content. In my example, it's going to be a phone call, and lets the notes show that they downloaded the book and they're interested in learning more. Follow up with them. Workflows are really diverse, so have a look on another workflow webinar to learn all the ins and outs of what kind of automation you can set up. All right, finally, we're building out the lead nurturing journey inside GreenRope. All right, so inside your home dashboard, we will find the journeys within the automation dropdown, and then click on the journeys feature. This will take you to that journeys page that we discussed earlier. Some best practices is to set up an initial filter, just because this is such a lead nurturing specific journey, that you want to set up a decision just to make sure that nobody is added into this journey that is not supposed to be here. So any decision here, if the contact is a member of group, you can select your group here. GreenRope active accounts. Okay, so if they are associated with any of the GreenRope active accounts, they will not proceed to this journey. If it's true, we will just stop them right there because this is not their journey for them. If it is false, you can then start the journey. You can set up as many filters as you want, but setting up this initial filter will really help you make sure that only relevant people are going on your journey. So for example, they downloaded your ebook that they just wanted it for the content, but they already are a user. You don't want to start nurturing them, telling them to buy your product or service if they already are a client. So once they start the journey, you want to send an email. You can also have different options here to add or remove them from a group or activate a workflow, which is in the automation. But we're going to send them an email. From your home dashboard, you can find the Journeys feature within the automation dropdown, and then click on Journeys. This will take you to that Journeys page that we discussed earlier in the slides, where you have all your objects along the left, your action bar along the right, where you can load a new saved journey. For this one here, we're going to set up our lead nurturing. So it's best practices to set up a decision or a filter per se that will stop any leads or active clients of yours going down this journey. So for example, if the contact is already a member of your current clients group, you don't want them going down this journey. They probably just signed up to get that free ebook that they wanted, but they don't need you to sell them on the product as they already are a client. So you can set up as many decisions or filters as you want right off the bat to make sure that anyone going down this journey is relevant and content information for them. So if they are a member of your clients group, you can stop that journey automatically here. Otherwise, if it's false, what we'll do is we'll add an action that will send them an email. So you have different options here. You can add or remove them from a group. You can also activate a workflow, which is a follow-up of some sort, or any automation you want. So we'll send them that email. We'll do the new tip 1 email just because we've set up that ebook download within the sign-up form itself. So only once they've downloaded that ebook, then they're added onto this journey. So there's no need to follow up with them again in this example with another download. So we'll send the tip 1. You'll see an example of your email here. Sorry, it's so bland. And then you can save it. What I would do then is add a little bit of a delay, give them some time to open that email. Maybe you sent it over the weekend. And then you can have another decision point set up. The decision point basically asks a question depending on if the contact has done blank. So if they have read or clicked an email, if they've submitted a sign-up form or ticket form, you can do random true or falses here. You can do standard fields that they meet, and then also those custom user fields that you have set up for your business, you can identify and filter through here. So if a certain sales rep or appointment date, for example. So there's a lot of options you can do. I would just say if they clicked on my previous email. So if they've clicked on your last email, they're actually taken an extra step to engage. If they have clicked on your email, then that is amazing. We'll send them up here. If they have not clicked on your email, we'll set up a delay here. So the action, if they do click on your email, I would now want to activate a workflow, which will help me to give them a courtesy call or ebook download follow-up. It tells you what's associated with it here. And so once they've done that, I set up follow-up, and then I can also go ahead and stop this journey here. If they did not click on my email, I can wait a certain amount of time. So let's go into the delay. You can do 48 hours, which is 2 days. You can also do business days if you'd like to keep it during the work week. Other delays that you have, you can do a specific date, time, user field. Let's say they have a birthday coming up. They signed a document that you've created and sent through the system. There's different options here that you can use. We're just going to wait 48 hours, which is 2 full days. Let's drag this here. And then what we'll do is we'll send them another email. We'll send them tips number 2. We'll set up a delay here. 48 hours. So there's two ways that you can set up the delays. As you can see in the first one, you had the delay if they clicked on an email. If it's false, you wait an extra 2 hours, 2 days, send them the second email. What I would suggest is you, right after you send an email, then you set up a delay that would help them kind of have some time to open that email. You set up a decision point to see if they engage with your content. If they did, you can send them up here. You can set up that courtesy ebook follow-up here. You can also move them in and out of groups. You can have sales reps automatically set up a follow-up activity for them. There's a lot of customization that you can do, but I just want to give you an overview of start getting your mind thinking about the processes that you want to set up for your business. So if it's false, you know what to do. You can bring them down here to now send them email number 3, and so on and so forth. And just keep building your journey out that way. You can condense it and kind of organize it however you want to. This is just an example. Let's say you go over here and you want to save this journey that you've created. Save it as a new journey, which will now create this as a new journey, or you can save it over a different one here. You can set it up in folders to organize your journeys depending on different services that you offer or what type of contact is going in this journey. And then we will save this as ebook download journey. Save. As you can see, once we've saved this journey, it is now going to be a name on the top right, which kind of shows you what journey you're working in. So let's go to the back of this journey here and just finish it real quick. We'll send them an email, breakup letter here because they have not engaged. And then we will then add them into a, we'll set up a breakup letter, and then we can add them into a cold leads group. So add into a different group. I don't think I have a cold leads group set up, but abandoned cart, close enough. A group that you can now nurture in a different way. Maybe send them a monthly email, just stay top of mind, but not every few days, you know, kind of expand that. So whenever they are ready, they can reach out again, and then you can pick up where you left off because their contact would be in your system. You would still collect the data. You will still see if they come to your website or what they decide to do here. So let's say you change that journey, what we did here. Hover over the Actions tab. As you can see, you can now start contacts or a group on a journey, but we're just going to save this journey. I would keep it under the ebook download so you can save it under the same journey, or as we said, you can create a new journey to duplicate the changes. You can also export here. And that's that. So we went over a few things, how to get the contacts on the journey, and you will start seeing tracking. You get full tracking on who clicks and who reads and who goes through what segments of the journey. Some best practices to keep in mind when you're setting up those triggers to add the contacts into the journey. You want to map out the right triggers. So how are your leads starting that journey? Are they going through a sign-up form? How are they coming in contact? Then what needs to happen throughout the journey to manage that engagement, to make sure that the lead knows that they're interested and you're willing to help, and this is the service for them. And then lastly, always end the journey. This just helps with the accurate tracking and analytics, making sure no leads are on a loop or anything else like that. There's a journey, there's a start, a middle, and an end. really important. Second is adding that initial filter. So acts as a catch-all to make sure that only the relevant leads are going through the journey. You never know what other people are clicking on or viewing or signing up for. So you want to make sure that the people going on this journey is relevant content for their needs. And lastly, what is the main reason for this journey? Make sure that you know what they came to your business for and to touch on that. And also, what are you wanting from them? Do you want them to ultimately buy your product or service, which is great, but what else do you really want from them? And that will help you build your journey. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to my team. We're happy to help. You can reach us over at support@greenrope.com. Our number is 442-333-7577. Thank you, everybody, for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. Take care.